Hi, Crime Junkie jurors. Okay, so after 27 witnesses were called, the state rested their case on Friday. After a 3-day weekend, the defense began their case today, but not before asking the judge to go ahead and just dismiss all of this and find Donna not guilty so that we can all go home. Now, this sounds crazy, but it's actually really common and happens in just about every single trial. The defense will ask the judge for a directed verdict, arguing that there isn't enough evidence to even bother sending this to a jury. Now, Attorney Zellner argued this for the defense, and Assistant State Attorney Sarah Catherine Dugan argued against it for the state. Zellner argues that there is no evidence that Donna knew anything about the murder before it happened, and that she didn't know what the checks were for that she was signing, or the money that she dropped off at Charlie's the night of the murder. Dugan then walks through the summary of evidence presented during their case that they argue shows her guilt, including witness testimony from her son Rob and the admission of guilt during the bump when she called Charlie, and of course the wiretaps between her and Charlie. Now, this request happens, like I said, almost every single trial, but it is rarely granted. And of course, it was denied in Donna's case as well. So once that's over and done out of the way, we get to dive full into the defense's case today, day 7 of Donna's trial. Now, the first 2 witnesses called for the defense are Donna and Harvey's good friends, Anne Elizabeth Cunningham, and her partner, Ron Gutterson. So Ron and Harvey went to high school together, and then they reconnected later in life when Ron needed a dentist in Florida on Christmas break after cracking a tooth. So that's when Ron and Anne became close to Donna and Harvey after they reconnected at that time. So Anne, she goes by Annie to Donna. Annie was up first, and she said she's never heard Donna be hateful or threaten anyone. Apparently, she's never seen the emails that were read in court. Now, the prosecutor did ask about that during cross, and Annie said that Donna told her that, that was just so foolish of me. Like, that's an understatement. Annie also said that Donna called her right after she learned that Danny was shot. She said she was crying and she was upset and worried about Wendy and the boys and if they were in danger. Now, this, of course, would suggest that if she's worried about their safety, then she didn't know who was responsible. But when Annie said Donna seemed very upset, I couldn't help but wonder about that Google search in Donna's history when she was looking up how to fake emotions. Also, this call comes back up later in the morning, but more on that in a minute. Okay, so Donna and Harvey watched Charlie's trial at Ron and Annie's home in Naples because Ron said that they were trying to kind of hide out because bloggers and media were bothering them. Now, after the conviction, Annie told Donna that she believed they were all innocent. Like, all of you Adelsons, every single Adelson, y'all are all innocent and the jury got it wrong. And she said that Donna was upset and cried a lot after Charlie's verdict, and even mentioned taking her own life. Now, Georgia brought up texts that Donna sent to Annie where she did say that she was worried about Harvey, who was laying on the floor crying like a baby after Charlie's verdict, but then she also complained that Wendy hadn't even called. Now, both Ron and Annie testified that despite the one-way ticket, Donna was planning on coming back from Vietnam for her grandson's bar mitzvah. They said that she was just going there to clear her head. Now, on cross, Georgia brought up the text from Donna saying to bury her in the dress that she bought for the bar mitzvah. And Annie said she doesn't know. She hadn't seen that text. Now, Annie said that Donna eventually told her about the extortion, but she couldn't recall the date or if it was after that all came out in Charlie's trial. If it was before, we'd have heard about that. But remember, we saw all of that digital data last week. Now, Donna sent a text to Annie after Charlie's verdict saying, I can't say why, but you guys need to come here, as in come to their house in Florida. And she says she may have some work for Ron to do here. Now, according to Ron, this was just moral support. But it came out that Ron was also asked to help with the rental property business while the Adelsons were gone because, of course, they were going to be in Vietnam. Now, it's not surprising that Donna and Harvey's friends believe the best in them, right? If you put my best friend on the stand, she would fight you over what you say about me. But let me know if y'all think these witnesses were impactful for the defense or not. I have my thoughts, but I want to hear yours. Okay, so next up was a digital forensic analyst named Kelsey Guay, who went over a ton of data, focusing mostly on Donna's cell records. Now, she also reviewed Sergeant Corbett's presentation. Guay went through a very long and technical explanation of what she did, but the result was basically that she got a different number of communications between Donna and Charlie than the state's analyst did. So instead of 417 calls back and forth during a specific time period, she only got 393. So she says there were 24 duplicates in the 417 during that specific time period. And that resulted in quote unquote inflated data in the state's report. However, Guay says on cross that Charlie is still the person that Donna contacted the most. The frequency report will change very little, if at all, based on duplicates. And also, Sergeant Corbett did say on the stand that there were some duplicates in that report. So the state suggests this really isn't that big of a deal. Now, Guay also discussed the cell tower location data. The big thing here for the defense is that Charlie and Donna's cell phones were never connected to the same tower at the same time on the night of the murder. So Zellner asks Guay about that, and she confirms it. But on cross, Guay says that she doesn't disagree with the mapping of the cell tower data that was done by the state. And also, and this is the biggest point, it's not that they have location data for Donna and for Charlie and their locations are inconsistent with being each other around that time. It's that they don't have location data for Donna to show that she was using the same towers as Charlie. But what they do have is a text from Donna saying she's outside of Charlie's, and a response from Charlie saying he'll be there in 10 minutes. That could be more damaging than any cell tower information because it's direct communication between Donna and Charlie, and it's much more accurate than cell tower data anyway. Hey, I'm outside. Pretty accurate. All right, so remember when I said that one conversation between Donna and her friend Anne would come back up again later? Well, here's the deal with that. Okay, first take a look at exactly what Annie said about the call.
I was called, and Donna was quite hysterical.
Okay.
And she said to me, Danny's been shot.
Sustained. Do not speak to what anyone said out of courtroom.
So there's an objection here because of hearsay. Annie isn't allowed to testify about what Donna said, but she is allowed to discuss how Donna sounded on this call. And here's what she said.
Did she appear to be upset?
Very.
Was she crying?
Yes.
Was her tone of voice, based on your knowledge of her for the 15 years, did she seem to be upset?
Very.
Okay. Did she seem to be at a point in time where she had just learned what had occurred?
Yes.
Did she indicate to you whether she had just learned that this had happened?
Yes.
Okay.
She did.
I'm sorry?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And during the course of your discussion with her about what had transpired, did she continue with this state of mind that she was upset?
Yes.
Okay. And while she was upset, what did she indicate to you?
She told me that Danny had been shot and that they were going to Tallahassee and that she was very concerned and worried about Wendy and the boys, whether they were in danger.
Okay.
Because she did not know who had shot him.
So this is a big deal for the defense, who wants the jury to hear that Donna was concerned with Wendy's safety because she didn't know who shot Danny. Because this supports their narrative that Donna had no clue about what had happened or who was involved. But on cross, prosecutor Georgia Kappelman asks Annie the last 4 digits of her phone number. And immediately, I know that this is a very intentional question. When the data analyst takes the stand, the state asks if there are any calls placed from Donna to Annie's number the day that Danny was shot. And the answer is no. Okay, so obviously this looks bad for the defense, right? If there's no call where Donna is upset and worried about Wendy's safety, then there's no call to corroborate their story that Donna didn't know. The defense suggests that the call wasn't made on the phone. Sure. But they say Donna and Annie talked on apps like WhatsApp, and those show as data transactions. So there's no way to see those on the call records. Okay, now the argument kind of goes back and forth. Donna was making and answering voice calls that night. There were 3 after 8:30 p.m. that night. And then right before lunch, as court's getting ready to break, we hear the defense say that they have called Miss Annie Cunningham back to the stand, and she is at the airport, but is now turning around to return and come back to the courthouse to take the stand again. Once she's back on the stand, the only thing the defense asks is for Annie to confirm that she did in fact talk to Donna on apps like WhatsApp and Viber, which is something she said on direct anyway. Now on cross, Georgia points out that WhatsApp didn't even offer voice calling until 2015. So it couldn't have been a voice call in WhatsApp. That was the year after Dan's death. And she also pointed out that the other calls that Donna had made to Annie were on a regular phone. And this was right around the time of Dan's murder. Now, Annie's response was, well, it must have been Viber then. Let me know what y'all think. Do you think that if she is panicked and upset and worried about her daughter, that she would think to call on Viber? Kind of interesting. Doesn't seem completely out of question, but doesn't seem completely reasonable. So, I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think, because I don't use Viber and I don't use WhatsApp. So let me know what y'all think. All right, next up was a friend of the Adelsons named Richard, who apparently travels a lot. Now, he helped Donna with her visa, and he helped book the plane tickets for Vietnam. In a deposition, he said that he just acted as a conduit for technology because the Adelsons couldn't really work technology as well, and he just basically helped them book it. That's what he said before, but now here on the stand, he says that it was him who suggested the one-way ticket to Vietnam. He said it may be cheaper to book the return flight from Vietnam later, especially since they didn't know when they were coming back. Now, Richard also said that Donna was coming back for the bar mitzvah, same thing that her other friends said. And he described Donna as a typical Jewish mother and grandmother. You know, aside from all that stuff about dressing the kids like Nazis. Other than that. Now, we also had 2 private investigators for the defense who interviewed the jailhouse informant Patricia Bird. They both took the stand today. Basically, Patricia Bird met Donna in jail. Then 4 weeks later, the defense sent this private investigator to talk to her, saying, hey, she may have some information on Donna's case. Go talk to her. So Patricia told the defense investigator that she was locked up with Katie before, Katie McBanawa, and on the stand, investigator Eddie Varnes reads what Patricia said in that meeting.
And she said that they were sitting at a table talking about the case, and then Bird quoted the following that McBanawa had told her, and that was, after we had him killed, we tried to get the money because we knew her boyfriend and family had a lot of money. We knew that they had money because the family offered the man $1 million apiece to move to South Florida. So at that time, Patricia and Katie, said, why not kill him and get the money ourselves? So then Bird replied with, girl, that's crazy as hell. That's extortion. And Katie replied to her and said, my kids got to be raised and go to college as well.
Now remember, on the stand, Patricia said that Donna told her to say that Katie knew the Adelsons had money when they had Dan killed. And she offered her land and a trailer for her to say this. Now, Varnes says that Patricia also told him that she was expecting an offer from the state soon, although it would be almost a year before she was actually added to the state's witness list. The second defense investigator also talked to Patricia the following year and basically just said that she never said anything to her about Donna confessing or offering her anything to lie. It seems like the defense called the investigators here to kind of help discredit the jailhouse informant Patricia Bird, but did it work? I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Okay, so the next witness, I'm not really sure what the point of calling him was, but by calling him, we got a moment of drama in the courtroom, y'all. It turns out the witness had been in the gallery for some of the testimony, just kind of watching, and y'all, the judge was not happy. Take a look.
Once the rule of sequestration is invoked, it applies equally to both parties. How long was he sitting in the back of the courtroom watching the defense case?
I was not aware he was here, Your Honor. Our assistant was trying to find find him. I went in the hallway looking for him.
So the judge decided that the witness can testify. But the point of the witness is still what I'm not quite so sure about. Basically, Dan contacted him in 2011 when he and Wendy were still married. They were looking for houses for Donna and Harvey to potentially buy when they come to Tally to visit. But they didn't buy anything. And then that was it. That was it. So the Adelsons were thinking about getting another property near Wendy the year before she divorced Dan. Got it. Am I missing something? Y'all let me know what you think the purpose of calling this realtor was. Next up was a detective from Leon County who was here to testify about the other jailhouse informant, Drina Bernhard. Now, this is our final witness of the day. Drina is the informant who had the handwritten script. She met with detectives on December 18th of 2024. And then the next day, Drina went and talked to Donna in their pod at Leon County Jail. And she took her handy dandy notebook, sat at a table, kind of right at the edge of the camera's view. And she talked to Donna for over an hour. So while this witness was testifying, we watched this video that our live chat has named Purple is the New Black. There's no audio, so it's basically just a silent video that shows Drina and Donna talking, and it shows that they both write in Drina's notebook at different times. This is the same notebook that the script was in. And the thing that kind of confuses me is the defense has said that they're not arguing with the fact that Donna is the one who wrote that script. So once again, I'm not really sure what the relevance of this is yet, but maybe we'll hear more about this in their theory on it later on. Now, the day after this video was actually recorded, Drina was called to meet with the prosecution. Now remember, the day before this video, she met with detectives. Then's the video. Then the next day, she meets with state attorneys because she had told the detectives that she had information. So Georgia mentions that they didn't even know that they were going to call Drina to come talk to them on this specific day. They were actually thinking about waiting until after Christmas to call her in. But she's like, it was just dumb luck that they called her on the 20th because she still had the script at that point. Now, she was supposed to copy the script in her own handwriting and give the one that Donna wrote back to her. The defense's argument on this is basically just that they have to rely on what Drina says. Kind of like a she said, pick who you believe. And that's it. Court ended a couple hours early today. It seemed like the defense was out of witnesses to call, so I think that might be why we ended. But they will be back tomorrow at 8:30 for day 2 of the defense's case. So what do y'all think? Are they picking holes in the prosecution's case, or did day 1 for the defense kind of fall flat? Now, we've heard that Donna is taking the stand, and after the way things have gone so far, I think that might be the only chance she has of trying to make sense of whatever story it is that she's trying to tell. I don't know, we'll see, because that could potentially happen as early as tomorrow, and I am ready for it. Okay, so don't forget, we'll be back live to watch every minute of it. So come chat with us and hang out as we experience it all together. And I will see y'all back here live for day 8 tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. right here on Crime Junkie Jury.